locker room at the end of the game I'll share with you, and that was a lot of nights. I talked to the team that the stats really recognize some things we need to talk about. And I'll put them on the board, and we'll talk about them. And today, looking at the stats, I don't think we looked good on paper. I love the way we looked in the game. I love the way we focused on not making sure that we weren't in rhythm on offense, and it didn't affect us at all at the other end. And I watch scores. These guys know. I call them multiple vitamins. I bring them in every morning just like today. Yesterday it was Eastern Kentucky and Miami. Eastern Kentucky only knocked in 14 threes. That's all. And I just said it happens every day. We got to make sure it doesn't happen to us. If we go down with our identity. And I thought that's how we looked today, because we didn't find out that Herndon and Riley wouldn't be able to play until about 7:38. And instead of long faces, instead of losing energy, I thought we propelled ourselves and we had more energy where we needed it on the defensive end. I know Mike wrote a good article, and I told him the other day about, to take the next step, we got to make shots. Well, that's great, but gravity in the opponent has something to do with making shots. But defending your goal, defensive rebounding, and understanding the edge that's important to win in college basketball, because you're allowed to help, unlike the NBA, these guys get that. So I told them I really enjoyed watching them. I agonized at times early in the game when we had 5 or 6 quick turnovers, but you know what? Then they went almost 25 minutes without a turnover. I think what I enjoy most is that they care. And I talk to so many of my friends in coaching. They don't like their players, or they don't like their team. I love these guys. I love the way they play. And yeah, I even loved them in Cal, coming up short with 30 seconds, because they recognize who they are. And that counts nowadays in college basketball.
I know early on, you mentioned those turnovers early, put Jack in the game. I know a lot of other guys were playing, but after Jack, there were no more turnovers the rest of that half. And like I said, till late in the game, there was a few. But I know you've always said you have no hesitation to put him in big games or big critical stretches, but he seemed like a very calming influence today.
I couldn't agree more. I made sure he understood that, and his teammates understood that. And he has meant so much to this program. And yes, you're right. He's been put in big games, in crucial situations. And today, maybe just as big, because you don't want to do what Miami did. You don't want to do what Michigan did. You don't want to do what Nebraska did. Yeah, you'd like to win them all, and you'd like to go on the road and beat all the BCS teams. That sounds like fun. But what you don't want to do is lose when you shouldn't lose. And, it's a headline when you get upset. It's a headline when you lose at home. Well, those are all negative headlines. I really appreciate the effort our guys have put into it. We'll let them sleep in tomorrow. We'll hook up at 3. I am confident they'll come back with the same attitude, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that we can get Herndon and Graybo back on the shelf.
Coach, it seemed like you had that defensive edge you always talk about for 40 minutes today. And you might not have known if it was going to be there after the long layoff and students not being here and all that stuff. How pleased were you with just them coming out on that side of the ball?
I can't describe to you how pleased, because like I said, it's almost like a balloon, and you put air in it and it keeps going up and up. But you know what? If it gets a little hole, bang. And I thought today there was a chance. Woe is me. I'm tired from studying. Oh my gosh, we just lost one of our key starters and our 6th man. And a lot of teams lose them, and a lot of teams lose energy. And I didn't see that. I'm really proud of them for that piece. Don't misconstrue. I didn't like some of the things that you probably didn't like either when we tossed it away a few times. But it's nice to know this isn't football. Like, our guys have to play offense, and our guys have to play defense. And thank goodness they care about that end.
When did you lose Graybo and Herndon, and do you think you'll get them back? Are they considered serious injuries?
I really worry about Riley, because Riley had a really good practice Wednesday and was a little stiff. I thought nothing of it. And then Thursday, about 40 minutes into practice, he took himself out, and Turbo wanted him out, and he says, it's even tighter. So I thought it was a tight hamstring. Okay, we'll get over a tight hamstring. But that's not what happened, and it actually got a little worse. It's not a pull, thank goodness, but we just don't know. I know one thing. I've had that kid part of our family for 3 years. He's a tough hombre. So if he can get back out there and help this team 2 minutes, he'll be there for Montana State. Al, on the other hand, had some back issues. He then developed some stomach issues, and he just didn't feel comfortable going today. So, hopefully we'll get up on the right side of the bed tomorrow, and they'll be ready to go.
Coach, it seems like, DC knows his role as far as just bringing that energy, and it seemed like that kind of seeped into every part of his game today. Just how active was he throughout this game?
Yeah, the biorhythms were up because he got a couple dunks and he ran the floor and rebounded. But you know what I told him at the end of the game? This year, when things haven't been going well for you, or things have gone well maybe for another player like Matt Sellers a couple games, your attitude has been contagious, and I really appreciate that. Plus, he's made some pretty good grades, as have the rest of our players. And I'm going to add this in here too, because we care a lot about it. We had a great phone call last night. Nate Sobey was really excited. He just earned his degree from Wyoming, and I think his parents were pretty tickled too.
I mean, how important is this, that energy? I mean, we see it all the time with